This is what's great about sports. This is what the greatest thing about sports. You play to win the game. Hello? You play to win the game.
Winning isn't everything, but it's the only thing. In our business, there is no second place. Either you're first or you're last.
Ain't this what they've been waiting for? You ready?
And now, the W with Walls and the crew.
Good morning.
Where winning isn't everything, it's the only thing. On 100.1 FM.
Good morning.
And Facebook Live.
Good morning. Another Saturday morning with your guys with the W Show. As always, thank you for tuning in. Whether you're in your car, 100.1 FM, or watching us on our Facebook Live feed, or now you can watch us on YouTube and also Twitter. So make sure if you have plenty of platforms to watch us on, no excuses. Make sure you're joining us each and every week, Saturday mornings, 11 a.m. to noon. First of all, before we start, I just want to say Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. Another year down, raising your young men and young women. Keep doing what you do. But coming up on today's show, could New York Jets safety Jamal Adams join the Chiefs? That's a topic of discussion that's been going on all week. And also, fellas, what's going on with KD and Kendrick Perkins? Man, a little back going against for former teammates, man. Also, all MLB camps closing due to positive COVID-19 tests. We all knew that was coming. And we'll also have our sneakers of the week. Plus, the NBA players are offered a smart ring, which is a little device that they can wear, and we'll talk about that before they head to Orlando. And last but not least, the Rams and Chargers have been announced to be on Hard Knocks this season. Will there be a Hard Knocks? Will there be an NFL season? We'll get to that as well. First of all, I'm Steve Walls. Just like each and every week, I'm joined by the other two hosts, my guys, DJ Q and Noah. How you doing, guys?
In here.
Doing well.
Or I don't know if you guys saw that I think it was like a Twitter meme of a man and a woman texting back and forth. I guess they're in a relationship, and the guy was like, "We out here."
Oh yeah, I say that daily. You know, I say that daily.
He was like, "Where?" She was like, "Who?" He was like, "We." Where? Out here.
Yeah. What part you don't understand?
Yeah,
the out or the chill.
You're right.
You guys.
So how was your guys' week, man?
It was good, man. Mine was really good. Feeling better. The weather was great. Worked out a couple times. It seems like outside is opening up just little by little. Yesterday was Juneteenth.
That's right.
Happy Juneteenth to my, all my folks here. It was a good week, man.
Yeah. No, it was a really good week. It was a good productive week for me. So.
Oh yeah, what you have going on?
Got some things in the bag. Well, I should say some things in the oven that are cooking. So
ready to go in the bag, huh?
Yeah, definitely.
I was telling Noah before the show started, man. Peyton, my son's been having me running baseball practice Tuesdays and Thursdays, or Wednesdays and Sundays, and then games on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Man,
so, yeah. Yeah, then he's wanting to start a new league, the Urban Youth Academy League. He's I think going to start that, and that's going to be on Monday nights.
Yeah. And
what position Peyton play?
Well, this is the first year for Kid Pitch. So I mean, he's played all positions, and they're still going to be like rotating around, but added now where they're going to be pitching. So that's going to be funny.
Mm.
And we've been working with them. Each kid gets to rotate out, being pitcher. So we've been working with them, and they're getting it down.
Yeah, that's going to be fun for him this year, man.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It's weird though because, of course, due to COVID-19 and the everybody has to stay out of the dugout. Only one player per inning can come into the dugout. Of course, they can get water, but they have to keep it on the fence line, and it's a little different.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot different this year, man. Oof.
Yeah, but kids though, they're still learning, so it's all good.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into today's headlines.
And now, here are the biggest sports headlines from this week. We bring them to you every Saturday morning on the W with Walls and the Crew on 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
All right, Jet safety Jamal Adams is probably one of the top defenders in the league, man, and arguably the top safety in the league. And he's been voicing his opinion in the past about wanting to be paid, just like every other NFL player.
Yeah.
But Adams has recently commented on Instagram post about the Cleveland Browns contract deal with Myles Garrett. And so he congratulated Garrett on his contract that he should be getting coming up soon. He's saying he was really talking about his own contract negotiations as well, that he hasn't received a contract that he was promised back in January. And he was called, and I quote, selfish. So Adams has a list of teams that put out there that he is willing to be traded to. And guess who's on that list?
Of course, the Super Bowl champions.
Of course, the Kansas City Chiefs. And so Jamal, who is entering his fourth of his fifth year of his rookie deal, of his 5-year rookie deal, I should say, he was the only Pro Bowl selection from the Jets last year. So what do you guys think about that, man? Because, of course, the Chiefs still have Tyrann Mathieu at safety. They still have, we can't forget about Juan Thornhill, who balled out last year until he got hurt.
I mean, it sounds nice. It sounds nice to collect all the players, get all Pro Bowl players you can get. But that I feel like it'd be very difficult for that to happen. I mean, I think the asking price right now is 2 first-round picks via trade, is what I'm hearing.
Not only do they have to pay him.
Yeah, exactly, that too. And we still got a couple players that need to be paid. I would say for my own selfish reasons, the Cowboys are number 1 in this list. I just like
my God.
Everybody know the odds on Vegas, odds on that the Cowboys are going to be the ones that trade for him. So I'm holding out hope for that. I do want to see him get out of the New York Jets organization because, I mean, what have they really done? He's a talent. He needs to go somewhere where he can display his talents on a bigger stage. And I mean, the Jets just aren't going.
New York City isn't big enough.
I mean, the Jets aren't doing. I mean, the Giants aren't doing anything either. But at least they're like on the rise. I feel like the Jets are perpetually like 9-7 at best. Like always, like.
Yeah, they're not really a very good franchise at all.
Exactly.
I hate how the narrative gets put out that he's selfish, especially within his contract negotiation year, and him being promised some months back that things will be resolved. And you I like to compare it to, different conversations that we would have, like, where do we get to call the team ownership selfish? Like, when do we get to critique their negotiations for more money? We don't get to see their negotiations for TV deals. We don't get to see their negotiations for stadium deals. Like the Dallas Cowboys have a monopoly on beer. I believe it's only Budweiser products within the stadium.
I didn't know that.
So we don't get to critique certain deals for the owners to call them selfish. but a player looking out for his family that more than likely came from poverty. We call them selfish for trying to lift up themselves and their family. So it's just it's kind of silly to even call him selfish.
And no, you mentioned he's still gonna have to get paid. So of course the Chiefs still have Tyrann Mathieu, who will be on his second year of his $42 million deal from the Chiefs. And so the going rate right now, if you're the top safety in the league, not only that, but I would argue he's arguably probably one of the top 3 defensive players.
To me, he's the best. He's the best safety easily. And like you said, you're getting ready to say top 3 defensive player in the league. He's definitely up there. He's that much of an impact player.
So if Mathieu got $42 million for 3 years, and that's a little over $14 million a year, you're going to have to pay him, I think, at minimum $15 million.
Yeah. His asking price is decent, but he deserves it, more than deserves it, actually.
Yeah, and there's just certain players that are just dynamic enough. I was looking at a highlight reel of him yesterday that was about 4 minutes long, of just him just being disruptive around the line of scrimmage, and to see that type of tenacity from a safety, and then whatever coverage ability he has, because that video was literally just him being disruptive around the line of scrimmage. Like, it was just it was insane to see it. And I know Chiefs fans would love to see those two together, but I mean, like we've been talking about, I think money is just going to be a huge issue. Especially with Pat's deal looming. And we haven't even talked about Frank Clark's deal. We haven't really talked about anything. I mean, you look at even Travis's deal from 2 years ago. So there's a lot of money that they have on the table. And as much as he would probably love to play on the championship team, I don't think he's coming. He's coming here at all. He would love to see it work out.
I would too. Don't get me wrong. I would
play him for a minute. Let's say you're Brett Veach, right? It's you still have money that you have. I mean, like we talked about, you have to pay Chris Jones. You had to pay Patrick Mahomes, and from what they've been saying, Patrick is first and foremost.
Yeah,
that has to get paid, and he's worth it. So, do you trade away Chris Jones for a younger guy? Do you do that? You makes your back end that much stronger, but then you have that front line that
misses that veteran that. Let's be real. Was a huge part of the Chiefs' later season success on the defensive end, and a leader on that defense. So, we're talking about an all-pro safety though. So, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm giving up pieces for that, especially with Tyrann on the team. Mm-hmm. They kind of look like a similar player. And you would want two safeties dynamic like that. You look at the Patriots when they had their tandem of Aaron Hernandez and Gronk, just having two tight ends in a passing system like that and being productive, and then you look at the opposite end of that, these two guys at safety on top of a passing league, you would think it was it would be a good matchup, but as good as those guys are around the line of scrimmage and anywhere from line of scrimmage to about 10 yards out, you got to factor in the coverage ability, and the Chiefs aren't the best coverage team out there. So
and he's been known to be able to go down and play a little slot. So
and that's you
don't have Bashard Breeland.
Yeah, so it's
something to think about. Maybe you deal, and this is just hypothetically speaking, maybe you deal Chris Jones and Bashard Breeland.
Yeah.
Anything is on the table. And Adam Garcia says Bell is getting all the money in New York. Yeah, but he's not the best player in New York though.
It sure isn't as good as he is.
Yeah.
We're just happy Le'Veon got paid too. That's what I get it clear. I am for sure because his contract situation with Pittsburgh was the stupidest thing I've ever seen.
That was atrocious, or as Stephen A would say, it was egregious.
All right, we're gonna take a quick break. Coming up, we're gonna dive into a little MLB, and also we're gonna see what Dr. Fauci is talking about. We'll be right back. The W Show.
Tuned in to the W with Walls and the Crew, where winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live. Tuned in to the W with Walls and the Crew. Isn't everything? It's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
All right, we're back here live show 100.1 FM. Here from our home studios, guys. Beautiful Saturday morning. Well, it's supposed to rain today, so I can't say that too just yet. But looks good so far.
You said it's supposed to rain today.
Supposed to.
Yeah, it's supposed to rain all weekend, man.
Yesterday didn't end up being too bad.
Yeah, it stopped after a while.
Yeah, yesterday wasn't bad at all. I like how it kind of rained a little early and then subsided towards the evening. But this time of year, rain it comes in bunches.
All right, guys. Dr. Anthony Fauci, the nation's leading infectious disease expert, says without a bubble, the NFL season might not happen. He said, unless players are essentially in a bubble, insulated from the community, and they are tested nearly every day, it would be very hard to see how football is able to be played this fall. If there is a second wave, football may not happen at all this year. So the NFL also, they haven't made any recommendations or anything as far as the start time goes and exactly when camp will start. So you guys thoughts on that?
I mean, the NFL doesn't know what to do with players that are involved in domestic violence issues. So I'm not expecting them to be on the right side of history when it comes to playing their part in helping prevent a pandemic. I think the NFL, as we've seen with Colin Kaepernick, they are a very bullheaded organization, and they need to see some revenue slipping from them before they make some action to go against their so-called traditions. And I've kind of been a proponent of science as of lately. And even when the pandemic started here in America, they talked about life not really being back to normal as we call it until next year around March or April. So I definitely haven't ever seen how we can take a 53-man roster plus another probably another 50 to 60 employees between equipment and everything that you have, and push them into one venue, outdoor or indoor, and prevent the spread of COVID. So, I'm not understanding what the NFL is even thinking about doing.
and you talked about the extra 50 to 60 employees, but first, before even this season, you got to look at camp. I mean, you're going to have 90 guys, that are in close knit quarters with each other. And the NFL did come out and say that they want 6 feet, social distancing, 6 feet between each other. How can you possibly do that?
Right.
And let's just say that the Chiefs, of course, they're not going to be able to go to St. Joe, but at Arrowhead, there's not that much room. So what are you going to do?
Especially not in a full contact sport.
Exactly.
No, it's not even feasible. Like no logic you can apply to that to make that make sense. Like it's just like I think Q used the perfect word, bullheaded. I think the NFL, like at some point, they're just gonna try to run through everything and just kind of forego all caution. Like I think the NFL really, really, really wants to come back no matter what state the world is in, because bottom dollar, I couldn't speak. So I'm pretty sure the NFL is going to try their best to like play, and it's not going to end up good, I don't think.
But not only the in NFL, but then you have the NBA, Major League Soccer, and other leagues. They've all announced plans to create, enclosed campuses with their players. You even have their coaches and staff members.
Much easier for them. Of
course, you have to have a little bit less, smaller number. But the NBA, for instance, they'll have to go to Walt Disney World for the next month in Florida so they can finish their 2019, the 2020 season. But will the NBA even start on time? With so much going on with guys saying that they want to play, that they don't want to play, and then you have Brooklyn Nets star Kevin Durant that had a few choice words for former NBA big man Kendrick Perkins. Mm-hmm. You guys saw that Kendrick Perkins has been very critical of the Nets star Kyrie Irving, and so it's all that's up in the air with the NBA. And so Kendrick Perkins has said that Kyrie Irving is being a distraction, which Kyrie Irving has said he doesn't want to resume play because the NBA resuming play would be a distraction from the Black Lives Matter movement. And what's going on in today. And so Perkins said that Kyrie is just that distraction, but teammates are going to be teammates. KD chimed in and called Perkins a sellout on Instagram and retweeted, which I thought was pretty funny. He retweeted a video of Perkins airballing a jumper.
Yeah,
that's just childish. That's just kind of like the icing on the cake there.
It was very Kevin Durant like. Let's put it that way.
I don't understand. Like honestly, top to bottom, I don't quite understand the beef. Like why is Kendrick why is he so against Kyrie? Like, I've been trying to research what is the root of the problem, and it just seems like it just comes that Kendrick doesn't like Kyrie. Yeah, because Kyrie hasn't done anything out of line.
Right.
So,
but the thing about it was, and I can see it to a certain extent, people are upset because, Kyrie being, everyone knows that he's the vice president of the NBA Players Association. Right. Kind of spoke out of turn by saying that's how they feel is that he spoke out of turn by saying that the NBA, they shouldn't restart without consulting with the president, who is Chris Paul. And also, he didn't have an exact plan. He said, no, we're not playing because it's going to be a distraction. Okay, well, what's the plan? I get it. But Kendrick Perkins responded to Kevin Durant. Let's hear what Kendrick Perkins had to say.
Here's my response. KD, my brother, just because I don't agree with what Kyrie got going on, don't mean I'm not fighting the same fight that you all are fighting. I am fighting for African Americans. I've been have. And that don't make you a sellout. That don't make me a sellout because I have a different opinion or disagree with someone else that's going about it another way. I actually applaud anybody that's fighting the fight right now in America. So that's the first thing first. Second of all, listen here. You don't know what I'm going through right now in my personal life fighting the fight. I live in $1 million community. I'm fighting the fight every day in my own community. I'm the only African-American family that live in this community, and my wife and I have to fight a fight with our home association and neighbors every day through email. So much that we're not even comfortable with having our kids go outside without supervision. You don't know what I'm going through for us fighting the fight when I have to drive my oldest son to middle school to go to his workouts, and I pull up and there's 70 kids out there, and there's only 2 African Americans, and he's one of them. And I got to stay out there to make sure he's okay, because just 4 days ago, 2 miles away from my house, they found the African American teenager hung dead at an elementary school. And I've been on multiple platforms. I've used my social media to speak out since this first started. Oh, you can go look on my Twitter. You can go look on my Instagram or whatever. I done been on First Take. I done been on The Get Up, Hoop Stream, preaching out about Black Lives Matter and fighting the fight. I was one of the first ones to call out the NBA owners about speaking out and taking action on what's going on in America, followed up by a phone conversation an hour and a half long with Danny Ainge. So don't tell me nothing about being a sellout, because that ain't even for me and you, brother.
Anytime somebody call you brother too many times, I don't know, man. I don't know.
First of all,
excuse me, brother.
First of all, he could have left. One of my issues with what he said was he could have left. I live in $1 million house. He could have left that out because us normal folks, we can't agree with that. You know what I'm saying? We don't know what it's like to live in $1 million house. Come on, man.
Yeah. There's a lot he could have left. He could have left the whole spiel.
You're right, but the thing about it is, man, this is not something that you air out on public television. You call that man and say, hey, man, I don't appreciate this is what you said about me, man. I'm not a sellout, blah, blah, blah. Have that conversation with him either face to face. Hey, let's meet up, have lunch, whatever.
He should have been trying to have it with Kyrie instead of calling him a bird brain and saying he's stupid and saying some of the stuff he said about Kyrie was way, way, way out of bounds for somebody who's actually trying to help.
Right.
So the fact I'm not trying to hear anything about right now about Kendrick and what he feels like he's going through. Like, yes, it's bad for black people in America, period. But the way he's using his platform, it's head scratching. Like, it doesn't even make sense. Like, what he's doing. Like, how are you going to be with somebody who's supposed to be your brother, who's the NBA, the Players Association vice president? Like, isn't that somebody that you're supposed to go reach out to and talk to and create that connection instead of going on TV and calling him a bird brain in front of millions of people? Like, his moves aren't making sense. And Kevin Durant just stepped up and said, look, man, you selling out right now. Like, come on, man. That's what I saw it as.
Yeah, and it's just the whole disagreement, man. When black people are supposed to be sticking together right now,
right?
There it is. That's exactly what it is. Right.
Yeah, and it needs to be this needs to be a stay on code moment for Kendrick Perkins. Kyrie is definitely trying to make a statement. Basically that we're saying about all these leagues. They are definitely more worried about profits over people. And they would rather put this product out there, no matter the risks towards their health. But as I've said last week and the few weeks previous, it's going to take one of these athletes to die from this disease before they start taking it serious. And it's the same thing we saw with the NFL and the Ray Rice situation, how they didn't take it serious until a video was surfaced. And the NBA with Donald Sterling, they acted pretty quick just to save the PR. But even in this, their motives are clear, and they would rather these profits get started, and they would like the money to keep coming in, and they don't care what the players think or their social issues when it comes to their profits. And I understand that from a business standpoint, but the hit that your business and everyone's businesses take within a pandemic like this, you got to be able to ride it out. And it seems like these leagues are not putting any pressure on our political leadership within the country. And I use leadership very loosely.
Yeah, I definitely agree, man. But the thing about it too is that you have all these guys that are all millionaires, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now they can relate to one another. But like I said before, once you start saying, oh, well, I live in this $1 million community, then I get to looking at you sideways. And it's like everything that you're getting ready to say, now I can't relate to.
Yeah.
You know,
and
what
that's the Kendrick thing. Only Kendrick would have said something like that. Can you imagine if Bron would never say anything like that? Like, hell, Kyrie would never say anything like that. Like, that's how like tone deaf his response was. Like,
yeah.
So it's just like he's the only person right now that I feel like isn't like standing in solidarity. And I like Kendrick Perkins. Sometimes I like his takes. I like the fact that he's a former player. I like the fact he's from Texas. I like Kendrick Perkins.
Here you go.
But like right now, he like
Texas folks stick together though.
Yeah, I mean he's not making sense right now.
Right.
He's not making no sense right now. So
yeah, and he's just trying to go on attack with Kyrie, you know, and like you said, for whatever reason it is, we don't know.
He used to, like, when Kyrie played for the Celtics, he used to always talk down on Kyrie when he was playing. I mean, he had a point because that was a disaster. But even still, like, you don't bring that into, like, what's going on right now. Like, on code moment, like, on code, like, later. Like, whatever that is, like, later. Handle it later.
Yeah.
My thing was, I just wish that Kyrie would have come out and said, all right, well, here's our plan. This is what we're going to do. We're not going to do this. And then that takes away all the speculation.
Mm-hmm. Facts.
You know, why is he saying this? Is he saying this because he's injured? He's not going to be playing anyway? Is he saying this? All that speculation that's surrounding what he said, it would have all been dead if he would have just said, hey, this is the next moves that we're going to make.
Yeah, I don't know. It sounds good, but you know how when somebody doesn't like you, they're gonna find something to not like about you.
Right.
I would like for the plan to come out. I do, because we can't, like, at the same time, like, Kendrick Perkins has a point. Like, we can't just get out there and say, no, we're not playing, and then just kind of stand there. Like, something has to happen next. But in order to get there, we have to like speak up first and make that stand. So that's just the way I feel about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what they say. If Brian say they playing, they hooping. That's word on the
street. Wait to get that jab in, could you? Couldn't wait to get
he couldn't wait.
gotta have ammo for my arsenal, man. Come on now. All right, all MLB spring camps are temporarily closed because of a positive coronavirus test. So Major League Baseball has temporarily closed all Major League Baseball camps because a source confirmed to ESPN after multiple teams have reported positive coronavirus tests on Friday.
It's tough. This is our new normal. Everyone at some point coming across someone with COVID. So it's at this point, it's a 50-50 chance. And, I commend the MLB for doing it league wide. You look at even these college programs that are coming out, and I think it was one that told their players not even to get tested for it or something. Like, there's a lot going on for people trying to conceal the truth. And they're trying to conceal the truth simply to get back to making money off of these people. And it's just funny that, not even a week removed from, Black Lives Matter and we care about you too. Okay, now that that's done, we actually care about our money.
Let's get back to business.
Get your black butts back on the field and entertain me.
And you still have plenty of NCAA players, like you said, man, testing positive every week. And just this past week, Clemson had 28 players test positive. So I mean, I really don't think that there will be a college football season. I don't. It would surprise me if there is a college football season. I don't, because think about it this way, and I've been saying this, but college athletes don't have the money that professional athletes have, and they're getting it.
Yeah.
And so you have all these professional athletes that are still traveling around the world. They're going to lakes, they're going here, they're going there, and they're asymptomatic. And now once you get all these guys together, now they're going to have it.
Mm-hmm.
So
oh yeah, it's like I don't know if you guys have seen this. I'm sure you have, but that it's talking about like a second wave coming. In addition to it being flu season as well.
Sure, we hadn't even dropped out of the first wave.
Out of flu season, really. So flu season getting ready to come back up again.
Yeah. So just like there's two ways to go about it. I feel like either you feel like, all right, well, we're just gonna keep it pushing, and whoever gets it, and hopefully nobody dies, which is I think what's about to happen. Or you could try to quell it, try to do our best to social distance and like hold it down, which I don't think people want to do anymore. So I think I think what's about to happen is we just all about to run into this disease somehow. I mean, virus somehow, some way, and that'll just be it. That'll just be the normal. So.
Yeah, I really think at some point it's inevitable. Everyone's going to get it. I really believe that. But as far as the MLB goes, I don't think they're going to have a season. I mean, from them, Players Association not agreeing with ownership and with the league, and so the Players Association put out this statement. MLB has informed the association that it will not respond to our last proposal and will not play more than 60 games. Our executive board will convene in the future to determine next steps. Importantly, players remain committed to getting back to work as soon as possible. They can't even get back to work now because of the coronavirus case. So.
Welcome to the real world.
Yeah. All right. It is what it is, but we're going to come right back. The W Show, 100.1 FM. We'll be back.
You're tuned in to W with Walls and the Crew, where winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live. Steve Walls, DJ Q, Noel. And this is the W on 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
We're back here live, 100.1 FM, the W. Just like that, man. None of these athletes want to get the virus. However, they all want to come back.
Yeah. Look at the lasting effects, man. There are
don't know though.
No, and that's the thing. There are lasting effects to your lungs depending on how much it's affected. And we talk about respirators and lung transplants and whatever it is. And if you're an athlete, your lungs are very important. And I would not want to risk it if I was an athlete. Just to be able to have like breathing issues and to have a disease that we don't know the lasting effects to a T, and we don't understand. Adam just going off down there. That's kind of that's funny. But yeah, we don't know the lasting effects, and I think that if the MLB wanted to, not even the MLB just alone, if any of these leagues, no matter the sport, if they really cared about their players and thought that their lives mattered, they would have the CDC come in and say, these are the risks. This is what can happen that we've seen so far after you've been cured. And then, give them all the information to make an informed opinion. And they don't want to do that. They don't want the truth to come out. Because again, it's the profits over the people. It's not necessarily people that matter at all.
And I get it. I understand that, you want to play, you want to make your money. You have a family to provide for. I mean, you've been living a lifestyle, as Kendrick Perkins said, $1 million house. You're living in that lifestyle and you want to continue to maintain that lifestyle. Some players are, they have family that have their hands out day in and day out. And so you want to continue to provide. I understand that. However, once you get the virus, as you said, you don't know the lasting effects that it can have on your body.
Mm-hmm.
And then not only that, but then you could possibly take it back to one of your loved ones.
Indeed.
So, and I think that's one of the reasons why they're having the bubble, so to speak. But these guys are going to be flying people down there to come and watch the games or something. They're not going to go a month to 2 months without seeing their families. That's just, let's be real.
I mean, and look at the government. There are regulations and laws in place, but money can kind of buy some leniency. And this bubble that they have. Who's to say this security guard won't allow some young entertainers for the evening to slip past security, for a couple of $100 a night. Like,
exactly. And I think that's the reason for the ring, and we'll get to that. But first, let's get to our Hater or Love It segment.
It's that time to love it or hate it.
Hate it.
If we love it, we talk about it. If we hate it, we move on.
All right, guys. Man, there's so much to get to in this Hate It or Love It segment. First off, our sneakers of the week, as always, what we have every week. You guys talk on this. The Air Jordan 6 Hairs. You guys don't know?
Yeah.
I'd rather see him on the 7s. I'd rather. I'm not a real fan. I'd rather them stay on the 7s. But to each his or her own, per usual.
Yeah, I like those though.
You do?
Yeah, I like the red, white, and gray combo. That's it's subtle. It's great.
All right, so the Reebok Kamikaze, the two OGs, the Shaqnosis.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong with those, man.
You can't. I never liked them. I remember when he wore them for the first time on the court, and you couldn't see. The cameras weren't exactly high def back then,
right?
So you didn't know exactly what was on his foot. But even those coming out, I kind of never liked them. It's Reebok.
All right, how about the Nike Air Max 97 girls Sky Nike, the orange and silvers in the middle?
Girls and kids get all the creative colorways.
Yeah, it's a lot going on for me, but.
And as Adam Garcia, he tagged me in a post about the custom Mamba shoes. I don't know if you guys saw that.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, you got to go there. I shared them to our Facebook, for the W Show on Facebook. So you guys got to go check those out if you're listening and watching our live feed. The Air Jordan 4 metallic reds.
I like them.
Yeah, I like those. Yeah, I like
simple.
It's just something about getting an all white pair of shoes now that you got to pay for your own kicks.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because I could never buy those. I'm
not old enough. I'm like, nah.
Yeah, I would ruin those on the first wear.
Mm-hmm. All right, last up, Nike Air Max 2090 Be True. I kind of like it.
I'm rocking with these. I can't
Really?
lie.
Yeah, I like those.
I'm rocking with those.
Yeah,
No?
Not really feeling them.
yeah, not my thing. It's
All right. NCAA is they making some moves this week, man. The NCAA bans states that feature Confederate flag from hosting championship events. So the NCAA announced Friday it would no longer hold championship events in states that prominently feature the Confederate flag. Now, Mississippi is the only state affected by the ban. The Mississippi state flag prominently features the Confederate flag in its upper left corner. So the NCAA decisions to ban states, hate it or love it.
I mean, I love it because I mean, why would the state of Mississippi want losers to be on their flag anyway? You know,
What took so long?
can't have a winning mindset. I mean, when's the last time a national championship happened in Mississippi? Like, come on. Maybe that's indicative of the losing spirit.
Good point.
Just not surprised. Just not surprised at all.
More college NCAA talk. So UCLA football players demand the athletic department take steps to ensure their health and safety. So a group of 30 football players are demanding the athletic department take measures to ensure their safety as practice facilities reopen in the wake of COVID-19 pandemic. So in the document obtained by the Los Angeles Times, the players issued 3 major demands to the athletic department. So the number one is oversight by third-party health officials of all team activities.
Yes.
Number 2, the ability to report violations guidelines anonymously. And 3, a guarantee that no loss of scholarship will result if any players felt uncomfortable participating this fall. So UCLA players sticking together, hate it or love it.
No, I love it. And I love it because we are in a time now where, you know, social media is the good and the bad. You know, everybody has a voice. And now that these players are finding out that they have a voice and that they can get changes made, it's time for UCLA and the NCAA to actually put action behind you know, their black box post of them caring about black people.
Yeah, man. So the players they will not participate in recruiting events, booster events, or any other football promotional activities if these demands are not met. So the document also says that starting quarterback Dorian Thompson Robinson is among the signees, which is huge because all the rest of the players follow the quarterback.
No, definitely. And it's kind of like an unspoken thing. Like you don't speak against, I guess, authority in some ways. You don't speak against those higher than you. And, you know, definitely a player that's not making money and being told what to do with his every day, you know, can't have an opinion. And it just shows the type of mentality that's looked at upon these players as a product and not actually a person.
Facts.
All right, so the Rams and Chargers, Hard Knocks Los Angeles, season premiere August 11th. Streaming on HBO. So Hard Knocks is going to Los Angeles, man. And they put out there that despite the coronavirus pandemic, HBO has announced Hard Knocks. HBO will produce a 5-episode season featuring the Rams and the Chargers. So Hard Knocks with the Rams and Chargers, hate it or love it.
Are they though? Are they?
Hated it.
Like what?
One more time for the people in the back.
Count. What's the saying? Counting your chickens before they hatch.
Oh, yeah. Of course, man. It is.
Okay. All right. Whatever, I guess.
Who doesn't want to see Los Angeles?
Look, talk about counting chickens. Coronavirus is going to give them a nice little cock-a-doodle-doo on this second wave.
For real.
Oh, man.
Hate it.
All right. So the NBA, man, more NBA news, which is really funny to me. The NBA players are offered an Aura Smart Ring to track symptoms while in Orlando. So the NBA is offering the Aura Smart Ring to every player as they enter the Disney property in Orlando. The Players Union summary of NBA start rules named the company and the league didn't. So let's just get that out the way. The high-tech ring tracks the wearer's temperatures, breathing, and heart rate, which the firm says could help indicate if a player has some sort of early symptoms to the disease. Hate it or love it.
Why are they the first people to get these?
Yeah.
Question.
Yeah.
Why are they the number one people to like get these when we've been going through the pandemic for like 3 months now?
Exactly.
That's how we're figuring it out. Like,
so, but the thing about it is, if you're interested and you're listening to the show or watching this, if you're interested in getting one of these rings, they sell for $299, and it connects to an app on your phone to provide the heart and sleep information as well. So my thing is, like you said, no, the Aura Smart Ring, if it can be as predictive as the company claims, then why aren't they giving these to doctors, nurses, and first responders and other of the frontline people who battle in the field? You know?
No, man, this is just a tracking device.
all it is.
You know, that they can push surveillance onto their players and really look at how they can control their products.
If King James wants it, then he gets it, is what Adam Garcia said.
Yeah, but that's just total BS, man, for them to even look for this solution for the league to come back to play when we already know, like, it'll be tough to even get 10 people together, you know, towards a second wave. So yeah,
it's gonna be interesting. That's to say the least, man, because like you said, those adult entertainers that are gonna be walking around that property.
Yeah. And then
it detects heat.
And then, like, to hell with giving this to NBA players. Let's test this out on cops. Like, let's see what their heart rate is when they see black people driving past. let's test out their blood temperature, or whatever it was, blood pressure readings, and you know, let's use this on cops, and then line up a 2 or 3 black people in a room and see how mad they get.
I do agree. All right, so the Las Vegas Raiders, Allegiant Stadium, to host the 2021 NFL Pro Bowl. Hate it or love it?
I mean, love it, because that means we get to go.
I love it. Exactly. My thoughts. Well, if the Chiefs make it, we won't be going.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, but I think this is just a deal because, of course, the NFL, they weren't able to have the what they were going to have in April, the draft, the NFL draft.
Yeah,
and so this is just one of those things to help, you know, Vegas get some money because they didn't get to have the draft. I really believe that.
Yeah, you see how quick they come to the defense of Vegas losing money, but you know, when black people have been oppressed for years, centuries, it's like, let's not worry about money for them.
Garcia says, "What Pro Bowl?"
I mean, he's right. He ain't wrong.
Garcia, you're gonna have to come in. You're gonna have to come in and be on the show with us, man.
He's gonna be a guest one day.
Of course, you're gonna have to. All right. Up next, according to Forbes, 61% of Americans say NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell owes Colin Kaepernick an apology. So a new Harris poll found that 61% of Americans think Colin Kaepernick deserves an apology from NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell. Harris surveyed more than 1,000 people last week after a group of NFL players came out with a powerful video to challenge the league and condemn racism and support of black players. So Forbes percentage, hate it or love it.
I mean, I hate that the percentage is at 60% and it's not anywhere near 90% or higher. But I love it that it shows that the majority of their poll, I can't even say the majority of Americans. I would hope the majority of Americans agreed. But yes, it's a fact that he owes this man an apology for, you know, sweeping him aside for an issue that he now all of a sudden magically cares so much and deeply about.
It angers me so much. Like, it's
Yeah.
like the biggest slap in the face you can imagine. Like the biggest one. The fact that he hasn't acknowledged that man publicly.
And look at the privilege that he has to claim ignorance on an issue when he's smart enough to run a multi-billion-dollar corporation worldwide, but he just can't happen to seem to find a reason to look at racism, the way it's been talked about.
It's the craziest thing.
Yeah. Smart enough to figure all this out, but I'm not smart enough to figure out something that doesn't affect me, but also helps me be, rich.
I hate it because he knows. You can't claim ignorance to this, like being able to run a, like you said, multi-billion-dollar company worldwide where the 70 to 80% of your players are African American.
Yeah.
Like there's just no way. So it's like really like it's a huge middle finger to us and Colin Kaepernick that he hasn't said anything. So I hate everything about it.
What I've been seeing is that he's accepted back in the league now. So I've seen the Chargers and a few other teams are actively talking to Cap about possibly joining them for camp.
I don't even want him to come back. I don't even want him to play anymore. I want him to we can use him for far better things than the NFL. It would be nice for symbolism, but just apologize to that man. You're already having to pay him for. We all know you were wrong now. We know why you're not apologizing. Like like that would violate whatever court order, whatever is going on with their lawsuit. But like we know you're wrong. Like we know you are. So
yeah.
And since we're talking about apologizing, round of applause for Chuba Hubbard, man, number one running back in the country. As Adam Garcia just posted on here, he called out his coach Gundy on social media for wearing a OAN Network shirt. I applaud him. I hate the fact that he actually wore the shirt. But yeah, and then the apology. I don't know if you guys saw the apology that
it was trash.
It was
garbage.
I don't agree with that.
It was trash, and that's the tough part about dealing with racists is that you have some that are actually proud of their racism and would have it out in the open, but then you have the majority of racists that they don't stand on their beliefs and they try to hide it, and that's even racism in itself. Like you think that your racism is so covert that I can understand your racist views, and I'm not going to be able to see through these thinly veiled dog whistles to your other racist friends. So it's just Gundy is a coward, and if he really believed in the stance that he took, that he's taken over the years to not only call his players racial slurs, but also back in his playing days, he was definitely accused multiple times. And again, we talk about the privilege of being presumed innocent, when it comes to that, and it just keeps coming to light, and he keeps getting excuses. So
it's annoying.
All right, Q, your album of the week, man. Teyana Taylor.
Yeah,
man.
The album. It's a good album, man. Teyana really is an artist through and through. She really takes her experiences from marriage to Iman Shumpert, and also their kids that they have, and she perfectly puts it in musical form, and actually just really puts it all out there. The album starts with the 911 call of Shump calling 911 that she's having her baby on the floor of their house. But it goes from that into just a beautiful piece of work, man. She took her time with it. And it's just it's a good album front to back. A lot of good features, a lot of good 90s R&B samples that that we love and hold near and dear. And it's just a great project, man.
So is this produced by Kanye?
I think she has one song produced by Kanye.
Because she's still his artist, though, right?
Yeah, she's still on Good Music. But yeah, this isn't the brainchild of Kanye like the last work, the Keep the Same Energy album. This is her work. This is everything that she put together, and she also produced her own videos, and I think she produced like 6 of them throughout the album. So
really,
yeah, it's definitely worth checking out.
All right, you guys, as we wrap up today's show, man, what you guys have going on for the rest of the day? Spending Father's Day.
I ain't got no kids, so I'm gonna say what's up to Pops a couple of times, see what he doing, but I'm free from celebrating today. I don't have no kids, so
yeah, I'm gonna continue some Juneteenth celebration. I'm gonna turn Juneteenth into an official holiday weekend, just like we do Memorial Day and Labor Day. I'm just gonna use that Thursday through Monday. That's gonna be that's gonna be it. But Steve, what you got going on for Father's Day, man?
You know what? I really don't know yet. I got a few gifts. Got a new golf bag. Callaway golf bag, and also a putter, indoor putting set, man, putting green. So, which is pretty dope, man. So yeah. I got that, a few other items, man. But as far as Saturday, don't know. Just gonna spend it with the family, man.
Hey, no, you see how Peyton is like, subtly trying to tell Steve that his putt game is trash.
Yeah. He said, Dad, I know I've seen your game. I know what you need to work on. We gonna do this.
Again, happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Garcia, happy Father's Day to you too, sir. He said, no, you need to get some kids so next year you and Q get some kids and next year y'all can enjoy, man. These days.
Yeah, my kids are these turntables, man.
I shall not slip up. I shall not. You work to Mama Searles.
Until next week, we are out.
Peace.
The views and opinions expressed on the W Radio Show by the host, co-host, guests, and call-in listeners are solely the opinions and responsibility of the original source who expressed them. They do not represent the opinions of the W Show, 100.1 FM, One Kansas City Radio, Sideline Sports Talk, Team Wall Street Foundation, or affiliates.